Xbox celebrates 20 years of gaming. PlayStation's got 25 different games in the pipeline. And what the heck is going on over at Ubisoft? Let's talk about it on this week's episode of the Expansion Pack podcast. Welcome to episode 29 of the Expansion Pack podcast, where we download this week's content and bring it to you. I'm your host, Danzel, aka Black Ice, joined by my co-host, starting off with Manny, aka Goopmaster Flex. What's up, bro?
You already know, stay gooping.
Stay gooping as always. And Chris, May 25th. How are you doing, my boy?
Doing pretty damn good. Ready to talk about these games, y'all. Let's go.
These games.
Nice.
That's what it's all about, right? That's why we're here. So, like you said, let's start it off, yo. What have you guys been playing this week? Chris, I'm gonna start with you. What's good?
A good amount of Destiny. They kicked off the new season this week. Have I played anything else besides Destiny this week? No, I think that's about it. It's been a lot of grinding in that, trying to get some new weapons. New weapons are very good this season. Activity is mad, but the weapons are fire. Like these weapons, a lot of these weapons are like difference making, I would say, in the Crucible in some cases. So it's fun on that accord. Honestly, I ain't even gonna hold you. Like I'm gaming, but like I'm really just waiting for Biomutant to come out in a couple weeks. So yeah, all this stuff it's cool. It's cool, but the big kahuna is on the way.
No, brother.
Okay, fair. I'm definitely waiting for Biomutant as well. But yeah, Manny, what about you, man? What are you playing this week?
So yeah, after recorded that episode on Sunday, finished Resident Evil Village. It was streamed that off for like 7 hours, beat the game in 7 hours and 30 minutes according to the summary. It was fun.
You streamed it. Where did you stream it?
Well, you already know, streamed at twitch.tv/goopmasterflex.
Okay.
But yeah, it was lit. You know what I'm saying? 7 hour stream. I had like, some viewers that hung through, the whole stream. So played that, played some Warzone throughout the week, of course. Played Mass Effect Legacy Collection that just came out Friday. Got like 5 hours into that. It looks good, you know what I'm saying? Like playing Mass Effect 1 with the updated graphics and everything like that. Like, so I like that a lot. Been playing that, so that's probably my mix of games in this week. I've been playing.
You never played Mass Effect before, right?
Nope, so that's why I got
through it. All right, bet. And you said you liking it. Yay, I'm happy.
Okay. We definitely going to talk a little bit more about it once you get through the whole trilogy. Yeah, man.
Happy you playing that.
Nice. Okay, well, yeah, for me, pretty much all I've been trying to play is Resident Evil. Obviously, as we talked about before, I've had less time to play recently, but been trying to power through Resident Evil. I was also streaming it a little bit on Twitch, twitch.tv/blackice8. Make sure to check that out. Right now I'm in the house that's very Silent Hill-esque. Dare I say, like PT. So, I'm stressing out a lot. Manny was trying to help me through the game a little bit, but I don't know if I can trust Manny anymore.
Hey, man.
I'm pretty sure
you'll be fine.
The spot I'm at right now, I'm like 99% sure that as soon as I turn the game back on and turn around a corner, there's going to be something jumping out of me. Like, I'm like 99% sure. And Manny's trying to tell me it's not going to happen. I don't know if I trust him. So,
hey, man, I just beat the game. You got to believe.
Okay. I thought you just set me up for a jump scare. You trying to set me up for a jump scare. But yeah, it's pretty much that. Resident Evil and a little bit of MLB The Show here and there. Yeah, I'm just waiting for E3, really. Waiting for some new games, waiting for some information.
Yeah, bro.
1 month away, baby.
Yeah. You know how it goes. Ramping up. But yeah, that's it for this week, what we're playing. But yeah, Chris, take us away, man. What's that Icebreaker looking like?
So, damn, I was gonna do the air thing again, but I don't want to do that 2 weeks in a row. I'm gonna put that in my back pocket and bring back out that cold air for y'all. When next time when y'all not expecting it. So for today, oh, if you looked away, you might have missed it. God damn. Okay. This week's icebreaker is not complicated at all. It's very easy. Question to my two co-hosts and to the audience out there. What is the first gaming experience you truly can remember? So like try to dig deep. Dig deep. And I'm not talking about, oh, I remember when I played N64. No, that does not count. You was probably a little bit too old. You probably played something before that. I'm talking about dig deep. Deep. And try to see what's the first gaming memory you remember. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, I started it off last week, so I ain't gonna start it off this week. I'm gonna let one of y'all take the mantle for this, but I know this should be something that everybody can have an answer for. Nobody should struggle with this one. So yeah. And this is also cool. Like after this, y'all out there watching, let us know also what else, y'all first game is too, because we don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead, y'all. Go ahead, y'all.
I guess I'll start it off real quick. We'll go from left to right. So for me, it's kind of a combination in a sense, but the first game that I ever remember playing is Duck Hunt on the NES. Like, the obligatory one that like came with Mario. So I was using the little light gun, I went over to my cousin's house back when I lived in New York. I must have been like, I don't know, 4 or 5 or whatever it was at the time. And I remember playing Duck Hunt. I remember playing the shit out of some Duck Hunt. And 2 games in particular, Duck Hunt and Battletoads. For some reason, like those are my first memories of gaming. Yeah. And anytime I go over to my cousin's house, which was pretty frequent, like he only lived a couple blocks away from us in New York. That's what we were playing. It's either Battletoads or Duck Hunt all day long.
Nice. I guess I'll go next. So I'll say for me, my first game that I started playing, I know I'm a little bit younger than y'all, so like I'm gonna be more ahead like to the PlayStation 1 days, but I'll say it was either like Mortal Kombat or Driver. Like it was one of those 2 games. I know it was definitely like those were like kind of like my first things because I remember having those games for like I had the PlayStation 1 and what I'm saying, just hitting fatalities as a young kid, what I'm saying? That's the best way to start playing games as an infant. So like you know what I'm saying? Like those like that's why I love Mortal Kombat today as is because like what I'm saying, my dad got it and it was just like, all right, yo, I'm just Sub-Zero's my man and I'm just whoop you because my brother always picks Scorpion. You know what I'm saying? Like so I'll say like yeah, Mortal Kombat and Driver. Even though like I feel like in Driver I will always get stuck in a garage mission. It was like the tutorial is just like, I'm a kid. How am I supposed to do these things? How am I supposed to know what a reverse is, yo? Like,
I'm a kid.
That's what to do.
Okay.
But yeah, one if I get out there, yeah, you know how that goes. So yeah, man. I'll say those 2 are my picks.
Word. Chris, you're up.
For me, I would say I don't even know how old I was, dude. I must have been like maybe 4 or 5. Maybe. All I know is that I know I had a Super Nintendo for a brief time when I was a kid. And I don't know what number Mario Kart it was, but I had some Mario Kart. And that shit was in. I wish I could remember what happened to it. My memory serves correctly. I feel like I had it for like 2 weeks and then something happened to it. It broke or some bullshit. And I think that was probably the start of my awful universal karma. I'm trying to tell folks about that I've lived through all these years. Shit just happens to me and I don't even know why. But yeah, definitely Mario Kart. But then in terms of like the first game that like had me hooked when I was younger, that actually kind of got me back in. This is gonna sound funny. I didn't really have a console or anything like that for a while because I was broke. But what I did have was computer games. So I spent a lot of time at the library or in the computer lab at school or whatever. And I don't know if y'all remember these. Y'all remember them Stickman games? John's
Yo.
fam.
Yeah.
Damn. There was a website called like Xiao Xiao. It was like xiao.com, some bullshit. And they had it where they had the Stickman game that was set up in different parts. So like every month they put up a new part of it. It was maybe the first rendition of like a DLC back or some shit. I don't know if you want to call it that,
Yeah.
but that's kind of what it was, you know. Every month or so they put up a new chapter, and then they had that, and then they also had the Stickman movies, right? That wasn't a game; it was just a movie about Stickman. Man, that was the first thing that had me like on some everyday shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to come back every day to play this shit. Yo, Stickman was hidden. Listen, people out there, I know Stickman. No, I talk about Stickman in 2021. Of course not. Look it up, y'all. Look it up and at least watch the movie. I mean, I might watch that shit after this pod. That movies was hitting, man. Man, listen.
I know
For a
what you
little
mean.
stick figure that ain't got not even a smile on his face. Let me tell you, man, that little stick figure we kick his ass, man. This dude, what? What? Listen, Stickman was hard. So, pause. Whoa, super pause. Ooh, big pause.
That's how you feeling?
Throw that on the top. All right, y'all. Let's go to the next topic. I'm all set.
Oh man. All right. Yeah, man. Thank you for that icebreaker, bruh. That was that was quite the conversation about Stickman for sure.
Yo, it was real. He was real.
He was real. He was real though. Nah,
He
you're
was,
not
man.
wrong on that one. I don't know how we went left on that, but okay. But yeah, let's get into the topics for the week, man. Let's get into the topics for the week. So first thing we got, pretty much right at the top of the week was an interesting article from Wired with Sony, basically. I believe Mark Cerny was in that interview, as well as the PlayStation Studio lead, Herman Holst, I believe is how you say his name. Um, Talked about a couple different things in the article, specifically around the supply constraints that are going on with PlayStation 5s right now. They also talked about how ray tracing, has been going pretty well, probably a little bit better than they expected. Mark Cerny in particular mentioned that, ray tracing is something that he expected to see implemented heavier, more in the second and third run of PlayStation 5 games, but to have been seeing so many first run PlayStation games taking advantage of the ray tracing, like Miles Morales and Resident Evil and all that stuff. He said he's pleasantly surprised, and he's interested to see where things go moving forward. But the big thing that most people are talking about in that article was the conversation around Sony mentioned that they have 25 PlayStation 5 games in development right now, which sounds like a really big number. They specifically mentioned that nearly half of them will not be sequels or spin-offs, and that's coming directly from Herman Holtz himself. So
Mhm.
I think we can kind of, we know most of the ones that they're talking about, right? I think it's safe to assume that Ratchet and Clank, it falls within that 25. God of War falls in that 25. Gran Turismo falls within that 25. Horizon Forbidden West, but you know still that leaves a whole 21 other games really to talk about that we may not know anything about at all. um I'm curious what you guys think about this. Hopefully we're going to be seeing some of these games moving forward, specifically at E3. That's what we've been waiting for a while now. Pretty big news, pretty interesting. What do you guys think about this? So Manny, I'll start off with you.
And when it says 25 games for just PlayStation Studio games, or like
25 25 PlayStation
okay,
5
so it
games
doesn't have
under
okay.
PlayStation Studio. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, even like when you mentioned like that, you said like about half of it is not going to be like sequels or anything like that. That's like,
It's big.
that's beautiful, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure, what I'm saying, in the sense like, yeah, we got Ratchet and Clank, and like I'm sure like in the future there's going to be another Spider-Man game that's like a given as well. It's probably part of those 25. Um, But yeah, I mean, it's always exciting to see, new exclusives. I mean, 25 for console generation so far. I mean, shoot, like, I mean, how do I put it? This is like, it's good that they have 25, but like, what I'm saying, like, are they all like AAA games? First of all, like, you know what I'm saying? Because like, we look at games like, what's that game that just came out? That's the
Returnal?
game Returnal. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? How we're talking about it and how it's like how it just doesn't feel like a AAA game. It just feels like a really high end AA. I guess you could say
Yeah.
like is it just like 25 games? Like, or you get Oddworld. Oddworld was like an exclusive. Is like, or is it gonna be like that kind of game or whatever? But like, it's I mean, it's still good. I mean, for like the PlayStation life cycle, if they can even push out these 25 exclusives before the console generation ends, which I'm sure they can. They probably like drop like a couple, 3, 4, maybe a year. But it still impresses. The hard part is with the console shortage, and they're saying even could drag on to like next year, which is like crazy in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's just like how many people can get their hands on the exclusives, and even so, like, will these exclusives even do well?
Yeah. That's you're right. That's something that we talk about all the time, right? Sony does a great job pumping out these exclusives, but they don't necessarily sell, the numbers that even PlayStation is comfortable with, right? That's why we're not really. That's probably why we're not necessarily getting some of these sequels that he's talking about. That's why we don't have a Days Gone sequel, right? Something we've talked about pretty extensively. So yeah, it's a great point, Manny. Like, how many of these
Mm-hmm.
games are games that we really should care about? How many of them are AAA or double A, whatever? I think the fact that they're new IPs is good, but I guess it
Mm-hmm.
leads to be something that we'll see. But Chris, what do you think about it, man?
I mean, people who have seen the pod have known that I've been beating the drum for new IPs since like ever. So I'm excited whenever I hear that there's a potential for some new shit coming to the market. However, damn, I'm about to sound like a negative Nancy, but it is what it is. I can't help but think about the idea that when I hear 25 games coming to PlayStation, my brain goal is 25 times 70, right? And then, because that's how much the games are going to cost for the most part, most of them, I would say. And 25 times 7, that's a lot of fucking money. And if Game Pass did not exist, and I know people are like, why y'all always talking about Game Pass? Get the hell about Game. I know. We do it a lot. I get it, but it has to be said. So, with the fact that Game Pass exists, right, is why when Xbox announces a suite of games, it kind of works because you already know ahead of time you're gonna get all this shit day one and Game Pass, not have to worry about it. Your subscription lets you do what you need to do. My thing is, yeah, we know Horizon's gonna sell, we know God of War is gonna sell, we know their heavy hitters are gonna move, but that's like maybe what 4 out of the 25 or whatever that they announced. 4 or 5 games are the heavy hitters. So in my head, okay, take that out of the equation. Let's talk about like maybe 20 to 21 games that aren't heavy hitters. That's still 20 times $70, which is still like, damn. That's like what, $1,400 if you really wanted to sit there and buy all those games. That's God. I don't know, man. That to me is rough to swallow. Pause. Because that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And again, if this was Game Pass, we're talking about a situation where you guys are arguing about if Returnal should be considered a AAA title and if it should be, $70. And again, you got this shit over here. If it was on that wouldn't even be part of your discussion. It'd just be like, this is a dope game.
Absolutely.
So like that's what I worry about with this. I hope these games are dope. I want them to do well. I hope when people hear me beating these drums for Game Pass and shit, they don't just think that I just shit all over Sony or anything like that. I try my hardest to look at a lot of this stuff pretty objectively. And I recently transferred over from a PlayStation 4 to Microsoft for somebody coming to me with logic, and then I had to kind of be like, all right, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it was one of those things.
Somebody
But
was me.
yeah, it was.
He's like, no, look what you made me do.
It was. Think. All right. But yeah, no, I don't know. It on paper, I just can't help but think about how much money this is going to cost certain folks. Sounds exciting, but you cannot sit here and realistically think that everybody who's a consumer for that platform is going to be able to play all this shit, because it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I guess it's not going to happen. So I think this stuff is exciting, but I can't get like super over the top about it until they announce whatever their counter to Game Pass is, because until then, it doesn't necessarily matter. Like even when I get a PS5, I'm still going to be sparingly choosing which games I want to buy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's different. It's a whole other ecosystem over there. I hate that you don't get the freedom to do what you want to do. Whereas with this shit, it kind of gives you the freedom to do what you want to do, plus the EA games and plus whatever else is in there. It's just 25 sounds nice. It does, but man, the dollar sign just keeps on bing, bing,
Yeah,
bing.
that's true.
You know, it just
Yeah, I mean, it's you mentioned, like, we always talk about Game Pass, but it's hard not to, right? Like, it's kind of become the thing that's on everybody's tongue, regardless of what side of the fence you're on, about the service, right? It's hard to deny that it is something that people are very interested in. Uh, yeah, I mean, even I know a lot of PlayStation fans who are like intrigued by the idea of Game Pass, and they're seeing how well it's doing over on Xbox, and it's making them want to go get an Xbox, or just kind of forcing them to hold Sony's feet to the fire with, like, where's your competitor, where's your version of that. So yeah, I mean, it definitely something we talk about a lot, but it's not that we're talking about it for no reason. It is, in my opinion, the most important thing to have happened to gaming in the last decade, for sure. Like, I think
I will
it's
agree.
very, very important. I mean, we're in a new decade technically, but whatever. It's definitely a big deal, and I think it's going to shaping the next decade, and then how gaming moves forward beyond that. So we're hoping that Sony wises up, gets on board, either puts actual Xbox Game Pass on their system, which some rumors say may happen. I doubt it, but at least just do something different. Because I would love to be able to get God of War and Ratchet and Clank and all these other things as a part of my subscription, and not have to be shelling out $70, for each game that comes out. Like, but then again, at the same time, people are still gonna go buy those games for $70, or people are still buying those games for $70. So at some level, we kind of have to start voting with our wallets. It's just such a tricky game. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, with the last 3 weeks itself, we just got Mass Effect's Legacy Collection last week, Resident Evil 7 the week before, and then the week before that, Returnal. That's $180 right there, I think.
Yeah, it's tough.
Well,
Well,
like,
it's more than that, but yeah.
Because I was like doing it for all $60. I mean, Returnal and I think Resident Evil 7 and Mass Effect were $60.
You might as well just call it 200
Right.
and call it a day.
Yeah,
Just
I would just say
200,
200. I think it is
Yeah.
exactly 200, because you're right. Mass Effect and Resident Evil are 60, and then Returnal is 70. So, yeah, we're north of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's $200 within like 3 weeks, and like, not everybody got that. You know what I'm saying? Especially like if you're gonna drop these when it's like holiday season, like they usually do, and you got Microsoft games that that their exclusives on Game Pass, compared to, like, all right, you know what I'm saying, God of War probably be there. I don't know, maybe Horizon, and then you have to shell out $70. Whereas, like, all you have to do is either spend 15 or $10 a month, or like 100 and some change for a year, and like you're already getting your year's worth within like the last month in April, where we got Outriders and what is that other game called? MLB The Show. And now we're even getting that Dungeons and Dragons game, I think, on Game Pass day one. That's probably gonna be another $60. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, we already getting our worst with just like a couple months, whereas like PlayStation's like, they're making us broke.
Also, doesn't help that I'm gonna go off on a small little rant real quick. Doesn't help that these PlayStation controllers are not durable. Okay, I just want to throw this out there real quick. Had my PlayStation 5 for less than a month, and I'm already getting this controller drag situation. I can't even move the stick. It just pushes everything down. Like, I'm trying to play Last of Us. Ellie's just moonwalking. What the hell is that, man? And then I try to go on Sony's website to see what I could do about getting a replacement. It's not Oh man, don't even get me
They got that
started.
red and black one for you.
Yo,
They
but I
got
was
that
just
ready
gonna
for you.
say, I was just gonna
They
say,
got
I was
that
like, you know what?
ready.
Maybe I'll wait, get that black one, because that midnight black one looking, that's looking real sexy. But guess what? It's not coming until June 20th or something like that. I can't wait that long. Screw that. I got Ratchet and Clank to play. I gotta go either buy myself a another controller, spend another $70, or see if Sony's gonna get back to me yet. Like,
Controller's $70 nowadays, which is insane, man. But
the statements just hit so much different. Like imagine if PlayStation really came out with the statement, we got 25 brand new games. Half of these games are new IPs, and they're all gonna be released on a Play Pass or some bullshit. Like that statement hits fucking hard. That is how you kind of say, all right, Xbox, it was cute. Let's try to, you know what I'm saying? Like that hits fucking hard, and I don't get why they're waiting on that. And another thing that kind of, sorry, Goop, I don't mean to.
No, I was gonna say with the statement where you're saying, I just feel like Sony is just more like cheap with their things. You know what I'm saying? They want to make the most money without having like to give everybody the best value. Like they don't want to, you know what I'm saying, have their service where you pay like $10 a month and you get their exclusives for free. Then they'll be losing out on a lot of money. But then it's like if every other game is $70, they're gonna be even losing even more money. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lose-lose situation for them, but then at the same time it's like the best way to get that, you know, approach is if you have a service like that.
Yeah, I think they can recoup their money. I think they just have to be all in, and I don't know if they have the vision for it yet. At least from what we've been seeing so far, it doesn't seem like they have the vision for it. So I don't know. Just another one of those things. We'll just sit there and kind of wait to see what they do next. But
hey, hopefully E3.
Yeah, E3. That's what we're waiting for. But yeah, moving on to Microsoft though, man. You already kind of alluded to some of what we're going to talk about here, but yeah, at least we'll start off with this. They did announce this week that they're planning to celebrate 20 years of gaming, or 20 years of Xbox gaming. This would be the 20th year, I believe. The first Xbox came out in November, so technically November would be the 20th anniversary of the first Xbox. But yeah, I mean, apparently they're excited about things. They've talked a little bit about the next 20 years, or what they plan on doing next in gaming. You know, they cited Halo Infinite as a big thing that's coming up soon. They cited Game Pass, obviously, like we were just talking about, as a thing that they hope to expand further. And then within that news, not in that article, but within this week, we also did get some information that Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance is something that's coming to Game Pass day one. Kind of just continuing the trend that we saw, like Manny mentioned before, with Outriders, with MLB The Show, and now Dark Alliance is going to be a game that releases day and date in Xbox Game Pass. And, you know, again, just kind of reiterates what we've been talking about, as always, with Game Pass. Is just the value proposition is just insane, right? It's too good. Every game you're hearing about from Xbox side of things, you're hearing that it's going to be in Game Pass and it's already included in your subscription. It's just nothing but good news for the consumer and their wallets. So, you know, with that being said, you know, I just want to talk about it a little bit more and go around the room with that information here. It's not the Dungeons and Dragons game that we had talked about a couple weeks ago. You know, the AAA one that's supposed to be like an RPG. This one, it looks pretty cool. It's more of like a co-op beat 'em up type of game. You know, I'm just curious of what you guys think about it. I mean, obviously, it's something we're probably all gonna try at least, right? It's free, technically speaking. But yeah, Chris, you know, I'll start with you, man. What are you thinking?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm here for it, man. This seems like the Dungeon and Dragons, the brand seems like they're trying to, like, I don't want to say like reboot, if that makes any sense, but they have been under a rock for God knows how long, right? Because like I didn't start hearing any news about anything that's to do with them since like years, and then all of a sudden now they got this new RPG coming, and then now they got this other little thing coming, and it just feels like, are y'all cooking over there? Like y'all trying to get this D&D shit like in a whole nother like perception? Because that's what it feels like to me. If they come out with one more thing, I'm gonna be like, all right, like, come on, man, y'all doing something.
They're trying.
But yeah, no, I think it sounds cool. I'm not like overly excited or anything like that about it, but obviously, yeah, like you said, we're all probably gonna give it a shot. I don't even know what to expect from it in terms of mechanics or anything like that.
It's
I'm just
it's kind of just like a beat 'em up, like co-op style beat 'em up game in a way. One thing I will mention real quick, just to get your thoughts on it as well, is because it ties into your icebreaker from last week. Um, the heavy co-op influence. There will be couch co-op apparently coming down the road. At least that's a conversation that's being had right now. At launch, it's going to be only online, but supposedly they might be opening up couch co-op possibilities down the road. So I mean, there you go. That's another couch co-op clawing its way back in slowly,
okay. Okay,
slowly.
Mhm.
I'm not mad at that. That's actually kind of good to hear. Even with that, I don't really know what to expect, but I mean, the fact that they're even considering it in this age of video games where that's literally like on nobody's brain is cool. It's kind of cool.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm very open minded with it. I ain't mad at anything I'm hearing. And yeah. When does it come out again? Did they say?
June
22 of June.
June 22nd. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so that's like a month away.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Bet. Oh yeah, no. Let's get it.
Get some
Yeah, I
fun games for
mean,
this summer.
you're talking about Game Pass, co-op. There's three of us here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
Good
saying?
stream.
Hey.
Yeah, like we
No.
streamed a little bit of the Outriders. Now we can just, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just
In
the
between
best part
that,
about it is it's free,
exactly.
and it's like, like if this game wasn't free, I definitely would have probably be shelling out $70 for it, $60 for it. But you know what I'm saying? Now the fact that it is on Game Pass day one is just gonna make me want to play it, and it's probably gonna end up turning out to be a really good game for all we know. So like, that's like the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? Like they give us the opportunity to try out these games. Like I mean, even if it does like go out of Game Pass a month later or whatever, like I mean at least what I'm saying, like for the people that did like it, they could buy it and like what I'm
That's the
saying, they're
thing.
just what's the thing? What's the thing?
Nah, that's the thing. Is just like
Uh,
my thing is like even if it's not good, right?
Mhm.
Even if it's complete trash,
Yeah, you lose nothing.
no harm done. Yeah, no harm done. So it's like
Mhm.
the only thing you lost is your time. That is it. If you
Yeah,
really are
because
that
I'm sure you have
like
to like
anal
sign a
about that.
contract
But other than
and they
that,
pay.
yeah,
Yeah.
good.
I mean, yeah, the company, the developers make their money, through Microsoft. The consumer, gets their value by having it in Game Pass. They could download it, try it, whatever, fall in love with it or hate it. Doesn't really make a difference
Hmm.
either way. Yeah, it's a win-win for everybody. It really seems like a win-win for everybody. Um, Manny, I will say though, another thing, perfect co-op game, if 3 people, you can stream it, you know where I'm going with this, right? You know where I'm going with this.
All right, guys. It was nice talking to you guys. But I think I gotta bounce.
The traveler calls you guardian.
Destiny 2, my boy. Perfect stream game, man. Just get Manny
Yo,
up in there.
can we throw
That,
polls on TikTok? Can
We
you do
oh
that?
my God.
we could figure something out. We can
That
figure
game
something.
is
We're
dog.
gonna throw a poll
What?
on TikTok. Y'all want to see
What?
Goop play some Destiny? Let's throw that on TikTok and see if we get some traction. Come
Let's
on now,
go. Let's get it.
get your
Why would
ass.
I play that when we have wonderful gems like Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance
I
coming
mean,
soon to
that's a
Game
whole month.
Pass?
That's a whole month, In between that time, you need something.
That's enough time for
Yeah.
me to get through this Mass Effect
And
Legacy.
that ain't no PvP.
Exactly.
What the hell
That
you
too.
talking about?
That too.
Yeah.
Ain't no PvP. Get your ass here, boy.
I do want to get in on one more thing about Xbox though before we move on real quick. So this is something that we've literally been talking about since the very first episode of our podcast, and that's this Bethesda will it or won't it be exclusive nonsense that seems to keep perpetuating around the industry here. Um, we've got some sort of a confirmation that Starfield is supposed to be exclusive to Xbox and PC. It's kind of a flimsy story, so it's kind of why I just wanted to sneak it in here real quick. But apparently this week, everybody's favorite insider nowadays, Jeff Grubb over at VentureBeat, um, through Twitter, kind of confirmed that, quote, Starfield is exclusive to Xbox and PC, period. This is me confirming that. Obviously, he's just not just he's pretty respected guy. He's a pretty
Yeah, I was about to
respected
say.
insider. And he's actually been killing it recently. He's kind of come out of nowhere with his content creation stuff. He's been doing amazing stuff. If you haven't checked him out, definitely do so. But yeah, he's pretty much confirmed that Starfield is going to be exclusive. Again, something we've been talking about for freaking forever. It's not really news. It's not really a surprise to any of us here, but I figured it's something we could talk about a little bit. just because the expectation is these Bethesda games will be exclusive to Game Pass. And I know he words it Xbox and PC, but I'm gonna say Game Pass. Anywhere that there's a that you can play Game Pass games, that's where we will see Bethesda games. So, let's go around again. I mean, just you guys throw out your little 2 cents real quick. Chris, what do you think?
I think internet's gonna be crying. I'm actually here for that. I don't know about y'all, but I enjoy watching tweet storms when it's just it's like there's a tornado on Twitter, right? And at the base of the tornado is what's that thing called? God damn it. Can't remember the name of the brand, but they make salt. They make salt.
Lowry's.
Not Lowry's, but it's like a blue cylinder with this girl on it with the umbrella. Yeah. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but that's what started the tornado. And it's just like, it's great. Because I think, honestly, man, it's hilarious. This is the first thing I've seen in a long time where I've just literally seen people just not accepting what's in front of their face. So, regardless of Jeff Grubb, right? And we just said he's reputable. He's been on it lately, yada yada. We could take that and know what's going on. But until Bethesda and Xbox officially come out and say, "Hey, man, Starfield, nah, fam, that's on its own," that's when I think people will finally say, "No, for real." Because I swear to God, bro, there's so many people like holding out hope that this is gonna be on every platform, and whatever, we ain't gotta worry about that, fam. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I'm telling you, as soon as they make an official announcement, which could be in a week or not a week, but in another month or so, because it might happen at E3.
Yeah.
Man, the internet about to explode.
Yep.
And the tears and the whining and the crying and
it's already kind of started though, because like I feel like it's split. It's split though, right? Because there's the people who are denying it and holding out hope, and then there's the people who have accepted it, and their response is, "Oh well, Bethesda games suck anyways. I don't care about Bethesda games. Fallout was a mess, and this technical issue there, and yada yada yada." Like, there's two camps, man. There's the people who are holding out hope, and then there's the people who accepted that this is what it is, but they trying to downplay Bethesda's importance in gaming. And it's just like, I don't know what's the point, man. They make great games. That's it. This is simple. They make great games. It's a huge
The screenshots looking spicy though.
That's the next thing I was gonna say. Like the screenshots they were showing off, man. It's got me ready, man. I got like some Mass Effect vibes a little bit.
Yeah. Mass Effect and very outer worldy too, I would say in some cases. But yeah, definitely Mass Effect. I see that.
There was one of the screenshots. It kind of shows like your character. It appears to be third person first off, based off of these screenshots. But there's one particular image that shows like your character looking up at a ship in the sky. Yo, I don't know. Like the screenshot itself, you don't see much. Like it doesn't look like it's graphically anything special. But I don't know. Just the idea of that world just has me very very excited. I cannot wait for E3 so we can get some of this news.
I'm more excited over the fact that this thing kind of like alluded to being able to like customize your ship and things like that. Because my thing is like, all right, if you're gonna allow people to customize your ship, then maybe there's got to be some kind of flying mechanic, right? Because you're not gonna customize your ship just to do it and then never fly it. It doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah.
So I think that I've been waiting for that in video games, and maybe that's a next gen thing that some video games will start to do. But I've gotten kind of tired of just playing these sci-fi games where you're on a planet and there's multiple planets in the game, but you can't literally like drive from planet to planet.
Yeah.
Like as much shit as I talk about Kingdom Hearts, their gummy ship system, it sounds really stupid and childish, but it's pretty friggin' good. It's like I don't know how else to put it, but they really 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 killed the concept of making a ship, customizing it for certain things when you're going through certain terrains, and it felt like your ship too. At the end of the day, you could use the blueprints, but like you can make your. It was just really cool how they did it. I wish more games let you do the whole traverse from place to place thing rather than click a button.
Like No Man's Sky.
So Yeah. I really enjoy that stuff. So that alone has me super excited. Like you guys said, this little announcement, whatever is happening, can't come soon enough.
Mm-hmm.
And neither can the tears. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Nah, I'll be sitting there on Twitter like,
Now what I need to hear though, when they announce after the show
Whew.
world premiere Xbox exclusive,
World
I need to
premiere.
see that coming in 2021.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. But that's the thing, bro. With Bethesda games, specifically ones that Todd Howard works on, it's always been like, okay,
Mhm.
we're announcing it. It's coming in the fall. Like that's been their cadence. That's always how it happens. That's how Fallout 76 happened. That's how Fallout 4 and 3 and Shelter and yada yada. Like all of his games, really. That's how they've been since Bethesda's been in the spotlight, been like of prestige. Like they're very big on we're gonna show it in the year that we're going to release it.
Mhm.
I'm pretty confident it's coming out this year. If anything, it might get pushed to like early next year due to COVID or whatever. That's probably the only thing I can think of that would really derail anything. But I feel like we're gonna get it this year. We're gonna see it this year, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. And it's gonna be in Game Pass.
Mhm.
Mm. Speaking of Game Pass and the games that we think will be in Game Pass, we got some news on Battlefield 6 this week. Again, I cannot wait for this game. We know nothing about it, absolutely nothing about it, but I've been waiting for a Battlefield game for quite a while now. But yeah,
Mhm.
EA in a call, or an investor call this week, pretty much didn't give us any real news except for the fact that Battlefield 6 is going to be coming to last gen consoles. So we will be seeing it on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, and I'm mad. Because
I feel your pain.
I was hoping for a fully next gen Battlefield experience that wasn't going to be held back by any of the old systems. We were talking about it a little bit before we started the podcast. I'm looking for Warzone Battlefield Edition, where everything's just like a massive open world,
Mhm.
BR, whatever. I can blow a hole through the side of the stadium, run up in there, drive through shit with tanks. Like I just want fully ray traced, beautiful Battlefield destruction. That's all I want. And I don't want it to be held back by any old systems. Like, yeah, it's great. There's going to be crossplay between old systems and new systems. Probably going to be crossplay between Xbox and PlayStation, whatever. That's all good and dandy, but I want a powerful game. I want them to maximize the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. But
Mhm.
apparently that's not what we're gonna get. So I'll just have to settle. See, I mean, to be fair, we don't know what this looks like. We don't know how it's being developed. There is a good chance that we are gonna get a lot of crazy stuff that's only gonna be on next gen, and the last gen versions will have whatever version of whatever it is that they do have. But I don't know. I'm still disappointed. I'm not. It's tampered. It's like brought down my expectations for the game greatly, and it's unfortunate because I really really was looking forward to it. But I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like the best way to maximize everything is if it wasn't crossplay between the last generations,
Mhm.
because then it's like it would be like, yeah, you're playing a game that's forced to be dumbed down just because you gotta worry about the people in last generation, and like like you were saying, how you're disappointed. I remember like earlier in the year how they were talking about how they're only focusing on next gen hardware, and the next thing you know, it's like you come out with this after their investor call or whatever, and now they're saying this, oh, it's gonna be last gen, and it's just like, I mean, that's nice, but we didn't ask for that.
Right.
Like, but
Nobody wants.
I mean. I mean, people who can't find Xbox, PlayStations probably are loving it, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not worth it. I mean, I remember too, like an article that EA was saying how like they were very ahead of schedule, so maybe that's why they kind of like ported it into like the older gen consoles, because maybe they had enough time to work with it. But all I gotta say is don't expect like the best polished version of last gen. It's probably gonna be like glitchy or whatever, because not only you got to worry about the Xbox One X or the PlayStation 4 Pro, you got to worry about the base consoles too, which aren't the greatest either. So I mean, I'm sure there's probably gonna be a lot of crashes and everything like that, just like how Battlefield 4 was when it was jumping from PS3 to PS4 and Xbox 360 to Xbox One. So, but I'm still gonna be playing it.
But yeah, Chris, you had said something pretty similar about that, right? Like as far as like
Yeah, it's unfortunate because again, I don't know about a better example than Cyberpunk, because they made a game that didn't play too well on the current stuff now, but like on the older stuff, it's still struggling till this day. And so my thing is, when you're promising that a game will work on both, it's almost like I wish they took the 2K approach with this, even though I thought 2K was, at first, when they first did this, I thought it was a money grab, right? When they first came out with the regular 2K21 and then the next generation one, I'm like, why y'all making two games? That's stupid. I don't like that y'all did that. It's just a money grab. However, like in hindsight, now I can look back at it and say, I get why they did that, and it made a lot more sense that they did that because they were able to focus on a game strictly for next gen or current gen and not have to be, bothered by whatever was happening in the last console. So that made more sense in the long run, so I can't get mad at them for that decision. The one place where I think I'll kind of defend them a little bit is because of the fact that it's COVID. So like say or not COVID, but COVID's affected everything else in terms of production and all that stuff. So if this was a normal gaming day where nothing like that was going on, then yeah, I would be really, 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 really worried about what's going on. However, in the same sense, it's like if y'all are saying that people not even going to be able to maybe like get a console to maybe next year, then that's a situation where like, yeah, if you made it for just next gen only, it's cool. It might be super optimized, but you're literally limiting how many folks can play it this year and maybe next. Yeah. So that's like a double-edged sword, man, because you got to make it available to everybody right now because of the way things are. But then you will maybe deal with some bullshit later if your game does not run well on the older things. So with that being said, I'm hoping that they think about that and they take that into account. And especially if it's going to have like cross-play and all that other kind of stuff. Whenever I see a game has cross-play in it, that tells me that it's not going to be a situation where like in, say, a PvP environment that I'm going to have something less than you just because we have a different console or a different monitor or anything like that. That tells me that whatever's in this game is in this game for you too, but it depends on if your shit can like handle it or not. That is I don't know, they got to really, really think about that shit big time because it'll be bad. People are really anticipating this game. I've been saying it for a while. A lot of COD players are not happy with COD right now. They are looking at Battlefield 6 as their salvation, I guess you could say. Like, this is the game to make up for all my bullshit with COD, all my stresses with COD. This is the game I can turn to kind of get my rocks off because this is the best competitor. Yeah. Now, if this is not anything to worry about, then yeah, man, I think it's gonna be super cool. Like I cannot wait. Yeah. Like you said, if it's a situation where the whole environment is just beyond destructible and you can do these things, then it's gonna be awesome, bro. Because when we talked about COD months ago, that was the main draw, was the oh shit moments, right? The whole being able to start a game and like some random shit pop off and you'd be sitting there like, oh, that just happened. Like that's what we're looking for. But like I would assume with the destructive environment that it should be like the dials all the way turned up in Battlefield, I would assume. So the game has a lot of potential, but there's also some potential for some blunders. Yeah. TLDR. And
I like how you mentioned Call of Duty too, whereas like I've been hearing a lot of rumors that this next Call of Duty is not going to have a new multiplayer for the first time in a long time, and I feel like it's probably because they are focusing on Warzone a lot more. So like I think this Call of Duty is just going to be maybe single player only, but I think from what I've been hearing is that their multiplayer is going to be Modern Warfare 2 remastered. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? That is going to shift a lot of, Call of Duty players who just play, competitively. Like, yeah, you're gonna, all right, yeah, it's fun to play an old game for a month or two, but then it's like after that, it's just like it gets old because it's like, all right, I played this like 10 years ago. Like, I can really care less about it 10 years later, even though it is nice and nostalgic. And then a lot of people are going to play Battlefield games. So, I mean, it's just, maybe that's why they probably did the direction with it with like last gen console, because like you said, not only just like the people that can't get a next gen console, but those that are probably going to be transferring from Call of Duty to Battlefield,
Yeah.
because Warzone does get old, and what I'm saying, like I don't want to just have a battle royale be the only core multiplayer game mode. Like I do like my occasional search and destroy, kill confirm, team deathmatch, domination, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Call of Duty thing is crazy. But just one other point that kind of popped in my head when Chris was talking a little bit more about Battlefield. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit, but yeah, you mentioned like the destructible environments and all that stuff. Um, and also like you mentioned something specifically around if crossplay exists, then I know that this game is going to have pretty much the exact same things as this game. And that is exactly the thing that like I am the most worried about when you combine the destructible environments thing. Like when you take into account, okay, so we can have the same game. Let's say we'll take Warzone for an example, right? Warzone looks a little bit better on Series X than it does on Xbox One. Warzone looks a lot better on PC than it looks on any other console, right? Ray tracing is there. It's pretty good, so on and so forth. But fundamentally, the game is the same across platforms. The thing that worries me is these consoles are capable of doing better like physics around destructible environments, and the old consoles are not. So like now you're just gonna handicap all the physics based stuff because you want it to. It's like
Right.
I get you want to make more money, you want more people to be able to play the game, whatever, what have you. But like if they had that stuff in place, if they had the whole concept of better destructible environments, like a bigger world with more things populated in the world, and now we have to like handicap that because of. I mean, I'm assuming that that's not what happened, right? I guess you can't just completely handicap the game because you're trying to make a little bit more money off of last gen sales. I don't know. It just
I feel like what might happen is like, because I think they're saying with this Battlefield is going to be like the biggest multiplayer ever,
right.
and I think they're like saying like over 100 players, right? I believe I could be wrong, but like I remember last gen with or like 2 generations ago with Xbox 360 with Battlefield 4, it was only 32 players in a match, whereas like PS4 and Xbox Series, Xbox One, it was a 64 multiplayer, a player multiplayer, and like it had its problems, of course. Like there was a lot of crashing with the system, and like I can see that being a possibility too, where it's like for example on Siege of Shanghai in that map when the big tower collapses, a lot of games would crash on like 360s and PS3s, and I can see that being a thing. Whereas next gen is, unless you tone it down and don't make it cross gen play, then like they probably don't have to worry about it. But then it's like if you do have to put that into a factor where it's like you're not gonna really like tone the game down, and you're just gonna be like, all right, here it is. What I'm saying, if it crashes, it crashes. If it don't, whatever. It's just play the game. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's the only thing I'm worried about. Is like if they do or don't optimize the like explosions and physics stuff like that,
Yeah.
and like because it's not gonna be a good experience anyways if it's like you're gonna play and it's just gonna crash all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, hopefully they just take out the cross generational stuff and it's just, Xbox One or what do they call it? Gen 8 or Gen 9 or whatever, like the previous gen people play with the previous gen people and the next gen people play with the next gen people. Hopefully that's
Mm-hmm.
where it goes cuz man, I can't tell you how upset that would make me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
All right, same boat.
Yeah.
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 Also, there's
Probably
the
would.
the prospect of them making like a free to play Battlefield, right? Like it seems like this is where everything's going, right? Like we're
Mhm.
mimicking Warzone, we're mimicking the Fortnites. So if they go the route of making it like a free to play game, we're probably not going to get what we just talked about, right? They're probably going to do the cross generational stuff. They're going to lump
Mhm.
everything together. It's making me sad. I hope that's not what happens. Let's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At that point,
Like
you just have to expect a lesser game. You just kind of have to at that point because it's physically not possible for them to let everything that happens on these things happen on it. It's just not
mm-hmm.
gonna work.
Right.
It is not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's no.
Yeah. Ugh. All right. Well, you know, I consider Battlefield a AAA game. It's been a AAA game in the
Oh yeah.
past. I'm hoping they don't go the free to play route. But leads us into our next topic here. Ubisoft Ubisoft seems to be doing exactly what we're talking about here. They pretty much came right out and said they're straying away from some AAA games. They're leaning more towards the free to play model. Um, it's going to be very very interesting. I think I have a direct quote here. Hold on. So let's see. Ubisoft's CFO, and I can't seem to find his name for some reason. Frederick Duguet. If I messed up his name, I'm sorry.
I'm guessing that's how you pronounce
we'll
it.
go with Duguet. But basically, what he said on a call was in line with the evolution of our high quality lineup that is increasingly diverse, we are moving from our prior comment regarding releasing 3 to 4 premium AAA games per year, he said. Let me just reiterate that. We are moving away from making 3 to 4 premium AAA games per year. It's no longer a proper indication of our value creation dynamics. For example, our expectation for Just Dance and Riders Republic are consistent with some of the industry's AAA performances. And he goes on to say, additionally, we are building our high-end free-to-play games. I guess I just thought about something real quick. High-end free-to-play games. I guess isn't that technically like saying a AAA free-to-play game? I guess maybe changing my perspective on this a little bit. But yeah, high-end free-to-play games to be trending towards a AAA ambition over the long term. This is purely a financial communication evolution and does not change the fact that why did he word it that way? The fact that we continue to expect a high cadence of content delivery, including powerful premium free-to-play new releases, such as The Division Heartlands. At least supposedly, that's what we're expecting, is for it to be a pretty high-end experience here. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this, guys, because are we just gonna continue to see the cash grab of the Warzone clones and the Fortnite clones? I mean, again, as we talked about last week, we seem to be thinking that the Division Heartland is going to be, a BR free to play ability for Ubisoft to start capitalizing on a season pass and cosmetics and all that stuff. Is that what gaming is just going to be going forward from, the bigger publishers now? Yeah, I'm sure, as many kind of joked about, beforehand, like I'm sure we're gonna see an Assassin's Creed game every year still, right? That's gonna be at least one of them. But I think my biggest question is, where the hell is my Splinter Cell, guys? That's all I care about. Am I gonna be getting a Splinter Cell game? Is it gonna be one of the 2 now games that are gonna be coming out? Are you guys gonna try to make Splinter Cell a free to play thing? Because I don't want that. I want Splinter Cell. I want Chaos Theory, basically. Like I want to go back to Chaos Theory. That was like the best Splinter Cell ever. Like take Chaos Theory, bring that shit to 2021, 2022, and give me the best goddamn Splinter Cell game I've ever seen. Like that's what I want, Ubisoft. I don't want to see more of this free to play shit. Like I'm interested in seeing where Heartland lands. I'm interested in seeing where that goes. If you want to give me more unique BR experiences like Hyperscape or whatever, and like tailor that up a little bit more, I'm cool with that. But I still want my hard hitting games. I want my fucking Splinter Cell. That's all I gotta say. That's all I want to say. Anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go ahead.
That's passionate,
bro. Yes. You have no idea. I want my fucking Splinter Cell, man. God damn.
It's funny because like we were talking about an Icebreaker a long time ago about like what we would like to see as a free to play service. I don't think this is what we want to see. You know what I'm saying? So like it sucks to see that Ubisoft is focusing less on AAA games when like we know that half of the games is like, all right, we got Just Dance and then their yearly Watch Dogs or Assassin's Creed and Far Cry. Like it sucks because like Ubisoft has so much more stuff that they probably have that's so much better, but that they just don't use. Like for example, Splinter Cell, like you mentioned, and it's like I understand like some games of that were AAA failed, like Steep. It wasn't really that great, and the game could be free to play, or like they could make a free to play snowboarding game and everything like that. But like, I just feel like they're trying so hard to copy what everybody's doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they made Hyperscape. It didn't really kick off to what they really wanted it to be, which was, it is what it is. Honestly, it's all right battle royale game, but in the end, everybody's gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna play either Fortnite or Warzone, and now I feel like that's kind of like the same thing with the Division. Now you're taking the Division name, and like even though they did say they were still gonna, support Division 2, and still got the Netflix show and then the books, the novels that are getting dropped. But like now they're going the route of a battle royale game and hope probably hoping that that'll kick off. I just feel like it's just like gaming nowadays has gone to like trying to copy everybody else in their own adaptation, which kind of sucks because like there's not really new innovative games anymore that we see nowadays. Like I guarantee you when Division drops Heartland, it's going to be probably a battle royale. I mean, there's been leaks out there that the show is going to be a battle royale for legal purposes. We ain't gonna say, but if you want to see the leaks, you can look up online. What is it called? But I mean, once Division Heartland drops, I'm sure there's going to be, like you guys mentioned, all right, here's the battle pass. Here's your cosmetics you can get.
Yeah, money.
And then there's going to be
cash.
And then it's going to be like more skins to buy, and then everybody's going to be like, oh, I want that skin. It's probably not even going to be able to customize the character like in the Division games. It's probably just going to be like the standard skins that you could probably use, or the standard, or maybe like you probably customize the character, but these fits you're probably going to have to buy from the store and everything like that. And it's, it sucks to see gaming going this route nowadays because I feel like it's just lazy in a sense that we don't get those innovative, new games like we used to, or even like, if they did bring back, like not Rainbow Six. What's that game called? Splinter Cell. Even though if they bring back Splinter Cell, like, like everybody will love a Splinter Cell. I'm sure that game would be, great to sell. And we still haven't heard anything. And it sucks to see that they're using Sam Fisher and like other games like Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six Siege, but like he doesn't have his own standalone game in 2021. And it's like it's been like 2 console generations basically at this point, like the PS5 and the Xbox One, and PS4. Like
it's so frustrating,
like
man.
they're sitting on a gem that they can easily use, and
they're sitting on a couple of gems. Sorry, not to cut you off real quick. I feel like they're sitting on a couple of gems, right? Like they have a couple other Tom Clancy properties that I feel like they haven't really done much with. Obviously, we recently gotten a Ghost Recon game, but still feel like there's so much more they could be doing with Ghost Recon. And then to your point about the Splinter Cell thing, like again, sorry, I'm really passionate about this, but I feel like it's such an easy thing to monetize on because you make the story campaign, like you make the story amazing, whatever. We don't have enough stealth action games, so it's a genre that can use some revitalization, and Ubisoft's in a unique position to do that. And Spies versus Mercs, like I feel like people don't talk about this enough. That mode slaps, and I still feel like we are in a time where Spies versus Mercs can be a big deal. So you can figure out ways to monetize on the Spies versus Mercs like multiplayer thing, right? I'm sure you're probably not gonna make it like a BR style thing, right? But like you can still make some sort of arena shooter version of this Spies versus Mercs and have this crazy cat and mouse gameplay going on, and people will eat it up, man. People will absolutely eat it up. I just don't get what Ubisoft is doing with this. I mean, I'm hoping that it's coming down the pipeline or something, or I don't know if you can extrapolate that Spies versus Mercs mode and make it free to play, and at least tide me over for a little bit until you really decide to give me like a full-fledged like story mode Splinter Cell game where I know what the hell happened to Sam Fisher and what's been going on with Third Echelon and all that stuff. Like I need that eventually, but give me something at least to tide me over. Don't give me these stupid like cameos with him in Ghost Recon or any of that type of stuff. Like I need actual games, like gameplay. And man, yeah, Ubisoft's driving me nuts with that one.
Yeah, I mean, like they've been relying on the same things. I mean, like I understand, like for games like Rainbow Six Siege, where it's like they wanted to be competitive, and they're finally making a new Rainbow Six finally after like maybe 4 or 5 years. Yeah. But like, it just sucks because, like I said, like I'm saying, like they're just milking that franchise. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted the game like Splinter Cell to be like that competitive game where it's like it's gonna go on for years, make it a free to play game. That could be easily a free to play game. I mean, Valorant is a free to play game that's like basically the same concept. It's like you got the teams attacking a bomb and defending a bomb. You do the same thing for Rainbow Six. You know what I'm saying? Especially for the simple fact that when it first came out, you got to spend $60 for the game, and then you got to spend like money on the season pass. And it's like it's not even just like one season pass. It's been like 5 season pass.
It's been a while,
bro. Like I remember I was looking at it in the Steam store the other day, and it's $70 just to get everything. And I'm like, why do I want to spend $70 on a game that's 10 years old.
But you
You
know
know,
what though? It's successful for them. That's the thing. Like that
mm-hmm,
game's been going 6 years strong, bro. I remember we used to play it like on the regular mini. Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know.
I mean, definitely. I mean, it's a great competitive game, but like at this point, it should be a free to play game.
I
It
agree.
still should be charging $20 just for the base game, when you got new players that want to try the game, and it's like, all right, why would I want to spend $20 when I can play Valorant, which is free to play? Like, or just
But that I
you
don't think
want to
that's
talk about
happening
big.
though. Is it?
It's
I
what
I like so I agree with what you're saying, just to be clear. But I don't think that's what's happening. Like people are still going into Siege like pretty consistently. Like it's definitely not
it's
as
probably
big
players that
as
play before
Valorant.
though.
What's that?
I said it's probably been players that's been playing. Like I'm sure there's still the continuing players. I mean, I don't know if like Rainbow Six has been like that like popular where it's like new people are playing now, because like I'm sure it's just like at a point where like a lot of people's already played it, so it's probably old players returning. But like,
Maybe I know their community is very healthy and I know they have a number of people. I I feel like I feel like free to play would help them in a way, but I feel like the comparison between Valorant and Siege is kind of unfair because Valorant's more like Valorant is designed more like CS:GO, and CS:GO
mhm.
has like a wider appeal. Like Siege to me is it's not a it doesn't have the same wide appeal as a CS:GO or a Call of Duty. But the people who are in it like heavy. And I still think they get like a pretty good chunk of new players. I don't know. I feel like it's a different type of game, I guess. But I still agree with you. I think they could go free to play and then just charge more for new operators and just kind of go from there. But I don't
Mhm.
think they're gonna do that because I think the game is healthy and thriving.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean,
Mm.
like I said, if they're gonna go like with the free to play route, I feel like what I'm saying, like that could have been a game that they started off with a while back. But like I said, hopefully this doesn't mean that the only AAA games they do make is their Assassin's
Assassin's
Creed
Creed.
every year, and your occasional Watch Dogs and Far Cry, because then that would just honestly be a bummer, and like it would just suck. But like we just got to see what their plan is, and hopefully we'll see what they got in line for E3.
Yeah, we'll see. The Ubisoft Forward is coming
Yeah.
up soon. But yeah, Chris, what do you think? What are you expecting to see from Ubisoft? What do you think about it all?
I don't know, man. I maybe I'm being a little too optimistic, but I feel like they fully know that people are waiting for this game. And they're kind of just waiting for when they want to drop it. I feel like they got a lot of new stuff that they clearly want to try, a lot of new IPs or little break off games like how they're doing with Heartland or whatever. They're definitely trying to step into a little bit of another market here, but it would be foolish of them to not make another Splinter Cell at some point down the road, especially considering these new consoles. Um, if it didn't happen in the next 2-3 years, I'd be shocked. Um, with that being said, I do think it kind of sucks that they are taking up the whole, battle pass model, yada yada. But then I say that, and then if the shit's lit, I probably won't care. That's the thing that's kind of like legit. That's the realest thing I could probably say.
Yeah.
When Call of Duty is hitting, I don't care about paying the $10 or my COD points to get the battle pass, because at that point, I feel like I'm getting more than enough benefit just from the gameplay alone, that everything from the battle pass is just an additional add-on kind of thing. Whereas it's a difference as where in some games it's almost like you gotta have the battle pass in order to have a good time in the game. That's bullshit. That's not what I kind of like look for with this. So as long as it's not that, I think we're good. Um, in terms of Heartland specifically, yeah, the more news that comes out about it, the more leaks that we will not show that come out about it. Yeah, no, it just gets you more and more excited, because although it's just another BR, I really do think that they took some liberties here to try to make it different. Like, I don't think this is just going to be like Hyperscape. And I think another big difference between Hyperscape and whatever they're doing with this is, I think a lot of people really discredit the all right, so for example, we'll take Warzone and Fortnite. Fortnite's a very popular game. It does very well. We're not going to dispute that. But I would argue that there's a good amount of folks out there who simply won't play Fortnite because it looks like a childish game. So
Yeah.
I think with Warzone, it doesn't have that issue. So I'm not saying Hyperscape looks like Fortnite, but it looks way more childish compared to Division.
Yeah, it's
The
stylized.
Division's it's way more gritty and realistic, and I feel like majority of folks tend to drift towards that style of gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that by default, it's gonna appeal to a lot more folks off rip, just like them scrolling on their Xbox or PlayStation and they see it. It's gonna catch their eye way more so than a Hyperscape would.
Telling you,
That's
it's
just
taking the PUBG heads, yo.
that's just my opinion on that. I just think like they're gonna. I don't know. And like for me, like for example, like I say it with COD all the time. One of the reasons why I like Modern Warfare a lot is because of I feel they took their time with the explosions and the gun sounds and the grittiness of the game and how realistic a lot of stuff looks in that video game for something from 2019 still. And I still think it's one of the best looking games I play sometimes, you know. And I don't know. People want to say that doesn't matter, but it matters, man. Like it just does. It's a stupid analogy, but a lot of people who I know are anime heads, right? And One Piece is one of the most famous animes ever. Everybody knows One Piece. There's a lot of people who will not watch One Piece strictly due to the fact that it's drawn a certain way. It's drawn kind of silly-ish, and they've updated it over the years. But the '90s episodes of that anime were drawn kind of, not as good as like a Naruto or something like that, right? So people will literally just not watch it just because of something dumb like that.
Yeah.
It's their prerogative, but I just feel like that matters in this argument here. Because you look at Hyperscape, I'm gonna be 100% real. It's not that impressive graphically to me at all. It's okay, yeah, But Division is beautiful. The environments in the Division are gorgeous. So them taking that world and they put in a battle royale on top of it. I just hope the buildings and stuff in the environment are more accessible because it doesn't feel like that's a big part of the Division. Like there is going in buildings and stuff like that, but it's very linear. It's very much so you go in the beginning of the building, you fight off the ads, you keep going through the building, fight off more ads, then you fight the boss at the end of the building, and then you come back out. I want it to be more so basement levels, attic levels, roofs, just like how it is in COD. Give me a full building to like go through and stuff like that. Just little things like that I think will go a long way. Yeah, no, I'm excited for whatever this is going on. I'm not gonna let the lack of a Splinter Cell game kind of like douse on my excitement or anything like that. I know it's coming. I think it's just we just got to be patient on it. I mean, hell, man, if we are getting a new Perfect Dark after all this time, I'm just saying anything is possible. Insert KG gif. And yeah, it's definitely coming. It's too big of a game for them to never make another Splinter Cell, especially considering the fact that they damn near missed the entire last console. There's no way that they don't make another game. No way. I don't care if it's the one big game that they put out one year. I guarantee you they're gonna do this. There's no way. Let them make their money. Let them do whatever else they're doing, and it'll come.
The more I'm thinking about it, I'm okay with the free to play stuff. Like I'm okay, like we've talked about Hyperscape a lot, and personally, I actually really like the game. I still think it's a good game. I wish it just got a little bit more traction. Yeah, like graphically, it's a little bit more like stylized and cell shady and so on and so forth. But for like what it could have, it brings a unique perspective to the genre, so it's cool. Like, and even though we say that, or we've at least alluded to Ubisoft kind of taking the easy way out and doing what everybody else is doing. I do feel like their games are different enough. Like Hyperscape, there's no games aren't like Hyperscape, right? The only thing that you can say that they've done like other people is just make a BR game, but it's still a unique game, right? Obviously, we've said what we've had to say about the Division. I'm okay with them experimenting with those types of things because they do seem to be creating some things that are different enough. I was pretty confident in them making a Splinter Cell game. Like I think we were just having that conversation last week. I think Manny and I placed a gentleman's bet on that.
Oh yeah.
But like
$50,000.
yeah, right. After this news this week, though, like I don't know, I'm a little skeptical about it. I don't know if we're gonna be seeing Splinter Cell like as soon as I was hoping we were gonna be seeing it. So Manny might be making his money. Mine. I don't know, man. Like it's just got me. It's got me nervous. It's got me a little anxious because I had my faith in Ubisoft, but now I'm like, I don't know.
Hey man, they didn't say they weren't gonna make any new big games. They just said they weren't gonna make 3 to 4.
So they're gonna make 1 and 2. Like,
So,
All right, you got to
but
think
one of
about
them's
one of
gonna
them
be
is going to
already
be Assassin's Creed,
Assassin's Creed.
right?
right.
Right, yeah.
So
And then if
I-
this works out, Heartland won't be a game that you probably put a sequel on top of. It'll be like Warzone, where you just keep building on it, right? So I don't
Yeah.
think that'll be a thing where that needs a sequel for years to come. Division 3, I don't know if we'll get that, but if we do, it doesn't sound like that's coming for a while.
right.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like Ubisoft is the kind of studio where like they don't need to give me a yearly game. I don't need that from any of their platform. I mean, any of their titles. Not Rainbow Six, not any of that stuff. Like you can give me your game, and a lot of times their games are thorough enough to last for over a year or two and not get like old. I would say a lot of other games can't do that. Ubisoft usually puts a lot of work into their shit up front. I don't know. That's just how I kind of feel
Yeah,
about it.
I agree. They've gotten to a place where, like the Assassin's Creed games, right? They used to come out every year. They've gotten to a place where they've pumped enough into these games. They're basically full-fledged RPGs, a la The Witcher, and so on and so forth. That yeah, you can get some length out of those, right? I think there's still people I know who are playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey because of the immense amount of things that are happening in that game. So I think Valhalla could have some legs, but I wouldn't be surprised if they like biannualized Assassin's Creed or went back to annualizing it or whatever. I don't know. This all boils down to Splinter Cell, guys. For me, I want a
Yeah.
fucking Splinter Cell game. Give me my goddamn Splinter Cell game. It's long overdue. Like you said, Chris, 2 console generations. Come on, give me my Splinter Cell, man.
Yeah.
Give me my Splinter Cell.
Yeah. No, they did. I hope they just don't change that, man. Because I will say this right here: a battle pass style game or battle pass in general does not belong in a story-based game. I'm gonna say that again: a battle pass does not belong in a story-based game. I don't see what reason you would need one in that kind of game. The only way that the monetization on that works right is in a PvP environment where somebody's going to want to deck out their character to look a certain way and to have the best execution that they can use when that's the way that shit works.
But
You know what I mean?
that's
Like
the
not
Spies versus Mercs game. That's the Spies versus
true,
Mercenaries like
true.
a multiplayer mode. And that's why I'm like, if you guys are trying to do anything where you're making some money, give me that at least, because I feel like that's one of the most unique multiplayer modes that I had experienced like growing up. Like being able to have one side that's just sneaking around, whatever, and can sneak up on people, kill them, whatever, have to steal an objective or so on and so forth. And then you have the mercenaries who are protecting different spots. Like it felt like Rainbow Six Siege, like how Rainbow Six Siege had the attackers and the defenders, but you're adding a different element of stealth and like agility with the spies and all these different things. Like I want that. Give me that.
Maybe they break that off of Splinter Cell and turn it into its own game.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why that couldn't be a thing too.
Yeah.
It seems like they got options and they're just taking their time with shit, and I appreciate that way more so than some of these other studios. Like, I can't tell you, like, with the Division is the only one I can think of. None of their other games come out with issues really, or any kind of like really big. Like, I don't see stories about Ubisoft like I see stories about how what's going on with CD Projekt Red or some of these other. I never
No.
see that.
No,
They're reputable enough to give them that nod.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel positive about it. I don't feel negative about a lot of what they're doing. Not even close.
I understand what you mean. You're giving them the benefit of the doubt in the sense, because I get what you mean. Yeah, they're the only knock I've really ever seen on Ubisoft games is that they do tend to be they do kind of follow like a cookie cutter formula of like open worldness. And like, oh, okay, you have to go to this spot and get up to this tower, and it unlocks the ability to see the rest of the world, and yada yada. Like they do it with Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Division, all those games. Like the open worldness of the games is pretty samey. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I think they make relatively solid stuff. You don't really hear too much about bugs. Valhalla had its bugs, but it was kind of a launch title. Like I do agree. I will give Ubisoft the benefit of the doubt up until a point, but it's just been so long. And I telling you guys right now, I'm fully admitting this is the emotional thing for me as far as Splinter Cell goes. I freaking love that franchise. I want it. Every time we talk about a particular game or something that I love on the podcast, I seem to manifest it into existence. So this is me manifesting a Splinter Cell game into existence. Give me my Splinter Cell. Give me my Splinter Cell. Give me my Splinter Cell. All right.
Yo, which one was it that like I can't remember which Splinter Cell it was, but this was the first game that made my heart beat, bro. It made my heart beat. And I remember there's a part in the one mission where like you're on the outside of a train and it's speeding down the tracks and you have to like inch along it. And every so often another train comes on the opposite direction and then Sam kind of
Yep.
he kind of like I'm like, yo, this shit got me crazy right now. What is happening? Oh man. I remember that mission vividly. You had to go underneath the car and it was so awesome. So
Yeah, see, experiences like
So
that,
good.
man. We need
So good.
So
So
bring
good.
it back.
That was the first game to me, like not Uncharted, not Tomb Raider, not any of those games. The Splinter Cell games were the first games to really give me that adrenaline shot, like that. Oh my god, my hands are sweating type of thing while I'm doing what I'm doing. Those are the games that first did it for me, not those other ones. That it's because there's times in them Splinter Cell games we have to do shit perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
like perfectly,
Yep.
and yeah, no, it's so good, so good.
Ubisoft, you hear this? Give us these experiences back, man. We're waiting, man. We got our eyes on it. I'm looking forward to this Ubisoft Forward event coming out within the next month or so. Yeah, give me my Splinter Cell. I'm gonna just keep saying it. That's hashtag give me my Splinter Cell.
We need Sid Fisher back,
Yes, we
but not
Sid
as
Fisher.
DLC.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, yeah, man. But yeah, we'll end it off here. Great conversation, guys. Great conversation around Ubisoft and Splinter Cell and all the other topics for the week. Before we go, though, as we always do, where can the people find you guys? Manny, start us off.
You already know. Good Master Flex in the flesh. Twitch.tv. You know me. Instagram, Twitch, Twitter. Good Master Flex. You already know how we
My
do.
guy, I forgot his handles.
Yeah, yo, what's up? What's going on? You gotta get all the
What do you
socials out
mean?
there, bro. Don't forget
It
it's
is,
TikTok
yeah.
too, yo. It's TikTok, no context gaming _. Don't forget that one.
Yeah, I forgot about TikTok. You know,
Got you. I
TikTok.
got you.
I'm saying doing the
How'd you
dance.
make it no context gaming and not Goop Master, whatever?
I don't know. I think I might change it to Good Master Flex
Nah,
eventually.
yo, you should keep that because we'll
I'm
talk
just
about that later.
interested.
Bro.
Like, why did he do that? All right,
We'll talk about
We'll
it
talk
later.
about it. We'll
But
talk
yeah.
about it later, gentlemen.
Chris, go ahead, bro. Where can people find you?
You know, I'm on everything at MAY25THXX. Again, on everything. I've been lazy about making this new Instagram, so I'm sorry about that. I will get that going soon. Hey, won't be a pod unless your boy plug the Gmail though, you know what I'm saying? So what is this? May 2021, and I've been asking since October of 2020 for a pen pal, and I ain't even seen so much as Prince Zamunda in my spam asking me to send $3,000 or something over to South Africa. I ain't even seen so much as that. So I really need y'all to get on it and holla at me. You know, that's it.
All right, word. Yep. Don't forget to pen pal your boy over there. But yeah, for me, it's Black Ice 8 pretty much everywhere. Xbox, Twitter, twitch.tv/Black Ice 8. On Instagram, it's Black Ice 8 _gaming. And your boy just started up a TikTok as well. Same handle as Instagram, Black Ice _gaming. Make sure to check it out. Say what's up. Also, we got some social media accounts for the podcast itself. So on Instagram, as always, it's XPack Pod. And on TikTok, it's Expansion Pack Podcast. So make sure to check us out. Make sure to like and subscribe. And comment. Let us know what you guys think about what we talked about so far. Let us know if you guys are craving a Splinter Cell game just as badly as I am. And we'll check you guys out next week. Thank you for watching. Peace.